Hi, my name is Inua Ellams and I'm performing What Becomes of the Brokenhearted for Soul Culture TV. So, Nee Parks, my mentor dude person, has a show called Spoken Soul. It was about poems inspired by classic soul songs. So I was given What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. And the song is actually a song of our relationship. I think it's a love song, but I didn't know that. I just took the first line and ran away and wrote the poem, then listened to the song. I was like, ah! But it was too late, so that was where the poem came from the first line of the song. That's all. What becomes of the broken-hearted? Those weary life lanterns, reveled in love departed, wandering with their light dimmed to a point of almost no perception, parted by grief. What's become of the leafless, flowered, wilting ones, wearing thin? I spied the story of such a soul once, orbiting the front pages of a backstreet broadsheet. The careless writings of a woeful writer wrought tales of a teenage tearaway, torn by the phallic force of a failed father and the misplaced goals of a maimed mother. The child could shoulder it no longer, so suicide solved the shame. I can see it now. Cradled against the moment, both strands of stupidity causing a confluence of pressure and pain, exploding at pill point. Hours later, her body is named as one to join the many of that black moment's reign. And even the diligent are doused in the waterworks, for that is how the river flows. Misfortune knows no friendship, so blows its banks getting bigger. I have seen sorrow in the broken fingers of those trying to pinpoint the blame. But that moment of clarity is never reached, for mass focus goes again. And as I speak, a soot-stained lover dances down a dark street, spotlit by heavy-hued fantasies of falling to the body callings of his wife's kiss. As he dances to the blue lover's beat, a shadow bearing venom in its fist buries the blue blade between that lover's heartbeat for fistful of change and flies, staining the night crimson, trailing the blood-woven cries of a lover's dying pain. And like the darkness that precedes the light's gain, before that moment is grasped, it goes again. For them, that is all there ever is. Moments of calm sandwiched by chaos, commencement, commandments of crucifixions, hurricane, hope, and high water, hallmarking existence, haphazardly and all, sending all questioning the sanity of the moment, gasping as it goes again. So I close my eyes to truly picture insanity, and it posters just the same. Half-written kids bathed in sun pollen pill the sky wrong. Marvin Gaye stands questioning what's going on. Martin sings, I had a dream. Nelson Mandela and the Dalai Lama sit cross-legged in a white circle in a clay courtyard, flicking holy water on the war-torn ghettos from Iraq to Soweto. New Age fellows grease terrorists green, and the Boeing 747 is beached like a whale on the red danger button. Backgrounded by white AK-47s, star-spangling banners, bordered by flaming crosses and alabaster boxes tied to bullet. Bang! Bang! And what becomes of the broken-hearted? They are standing silent in front of all that, with courage gaffer taped to their spirits and the weight of the world across their backs, all bound into the beatless beat, all baying for a brighter day, all bearing on this moment. And all we have is this moment, this now, and there it goes again. I started writing poetry in 2001. That was when. Why is because I couldn't afford paint. But let me take you back to the beginning. So I lived in Dublin for 3 years, and that was around about the coming of age kind of period, you know, where you go through, etc. And I discovered Shakespeare at that age, and I was studying King Lear, which was lots of fun. I know how when you begin studying Shakespeare, because of how old school the language is, you need a teacher to sort of interpret what's going on. I was kind of geeky and good with language, and me and this friend of mine called Steven, we didn't need a teacher to do that to us after the second lesson. So we began interpreting Shakespeare to the rest of the class and pulling out the body and meanings, the lines, which was brilliant. And Steven was my boy, and we literally would sit down and argue about anything. I mean, like the color of the sky, anything. We'd argue about trees, about rubbish really. And Stephen and I were really good friends, but one summer, Stephen committed suicide. One day he was there, and one day he wasn't. And I remember going back to school, and all my teachers had rearranged all my classrooms. I wouldn't have to sit where I usually sat with Stephen, which is the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me, really. And then I began, I guess, still fooling around with English, but the person I discovered literature with, Stephen, wasn't there anymore. And then I began writing, not so much because I had any great pain to get over, which was the loss of my friend. It was more because I just lost the person I argued with about rubbish, really. So that's kind of how I began writing. So I came to UK, came back to London really, and began writing. But up until that point, I'd just been focused specifically on visual art. So I was into drawing, into painting, into all that stuff. And I pursued that until I arrived back in London, and I couldn't afford acrylic paints or oils, but I still wanted to express myself with my fingers. And then I began writing poetry. So I began writing because I couldn't afford paint. That's the long narrative. But it came from Stephen daring me to write a poem, and my English teacher telling me it wasn't bad, which is equivalent to being given Excalibur and told, dude, man, pick your kingdom and rule it. So that was how I ended up in this mess. I recently wrote a one-person play called The 14th Tale, which is about my experiences growing up in Nigeria, going to Ireland, coming back here. It's a coming-of-age story. It's about me getting into all kinds of trouble. It's funny, it's light-hearted, it's parts philosophical, or part just banal and rubbish. But it's altogether a very, very good narrative, though I say it myself.